Welcome to Mini News Update. This is episode 3 and we'll be covering the news that happened from September 20th to the 26th, 2009. This was a big week for Privateer Press. They released the rules for Mark II of Warmachine 3 months early. It was set to come out January 2010, but due to customer demand, they decided to release it early because there was such an interest in getting the rules and being able to play. The PDF they released is free, available to anyone, and it's bare bones. It just has the rules, no fluff, no artwork, not an index. Internally, it doesn't reference any page numbers. You'll just see XXX where a page number would be referenced. It's just rushed out there to meet the demand of the customers. And I think this is a great move on their part, and hopefully we see more game companies doing things like this in the future. Privateer Press also appears to have officially given permission to use the Warmachine and Horde's intellectual property in a mod for Vassal. If you're not familiar with Vassal, it's a free program that allows board games to be played over the web. Check out the Vassal website or episode 32 of the D6 generation for more details. And lastly, from Privateer Press, they've released preview images for the Retribution House Guard Rifleman unit. They're great looking models, and I could see them having many uses beyond even Warmachine. If anyone's been following Grindhouse Games, you know that they decided to halt production of the Incursion board game after word was released that Space Hulk was coming out. They did decide to release the game free to everyone in PDF form, which was great and revolutionary, but it's exciting this week to hear that they've decided to go forward with producing the game. They're going to start out with a limited production of 1,000 copies, and it's going to retail for about $50. If you've seen the models that West Wind was producing for the game, you'll know that they look great, but to keep costs down for this limited print run, all components will be cardstock. I hope Grindhouse can succeed with this, as Incursion looks like a great game, and I'd love to see what they could come out with in the future too. And speaking of alternate World War II history, West Wind Productions is now accepting pre-orders for their Sword G3 Tiger Mecha. The kit looks great, really beefy, has a great look to it, as do a lot of the West Wind Secrets of the Third Reich models. It's going to cost about £40 and it'll be available sometime in October. MicroArt Studios has released preview images for some goblins in World War II theme. They look great. They've done a wonderful job with a lot of their conversion kits, and look forward to seeing what else they can come out with for the goblins. They also have a few steampunk miniatures that they'll be releasing soon as well. Avatars of War released preview image for their Light Elf Mage. Kit comes with some useful options, and it's great to see Avatars of War continuing their trend of multi-piece character models. Antonicity's Workshop released preview images for 2 sci-fi model kits they'll be releasing in resin: the Vampire Grav Bike and the Nautilus Skimmer. They're not associated with any specific game system, but they do look nice. Forge World had some new releases this week. The Plague Hulk of Nurgle is a combination Defiler and Nurgle Demon. And then they also had the Tau XV9 Hazard Close Support Armor. And as usual, Forge World continues the practice of having Tau battlesuits that look better than the standard Games Workshop plastic ones. Callistra has some medieval fortifications that they'll be releasing in resin that'll be suitable for 10 to 15mm scale games. They're designed to be compatible with their range of plastic hexes, and you'll be able to create modular fortifications with them. Euphoria Miniatures will be releasing a 30mm range of Dark Future figures. If the first screen is an accurate indication of what's to come, then I'll definitely be keeping an eye on this company. Cavalcade Wargames is a new company that will focus on historical and fantasy miniatures. Currently they have Bob Ollie's line of samurai orcs available. These used to be part of the Ollie's Armies range, and it's nice to see them in production again. They plan on expanding this range and developing more of their own ranges over time. Speaking of Ollie's Armies, Armorcast has purchased the rights to Bob Ollie's Dwarf World miniatures and Scrunt Pirates. The Townsfolk and Tavern sets are available now, and the Scrunt Pirates will be re-released in October. Reaper Miniatures released a few greens, as they do most weeks. This week we have the Night Spectre, sculpted by Julie Guthrie. I think this would just be so useful in many games. It looks great. Next is an Irillian Scout by Patrick Keith. It's a weird looking one, but it's got a fun look to it. It's for their Chronoscape line, which is pretty much a catch-all. Manic Games has previewed their first non-plastic miniature. Prince Nuadalor is a leader for the Elven army. I haven't been captivated by their figures yet, but I do appreciate the amount of plastic kits they've been developing, as they seem to be a great value for the amount of models you get. Zenith Miniatures have released 2 new figures for their Nemesis Fantasy Skirmish rules. Valeria seems to be a warrior priest of some kind. And then there's La Jeffa. I'm not really familiar with this company or range, but I can't figure out what's going on with this warrior Girl Scout on stilts. Both are nice models, though. Consortium had a new preview figure this week. The Cyber faction gets an addition in the form of this heavy weapon trooper. This would make a nice heavy servitor if you play an Inquisition army in 40k. Coruscant Miniatures is having a painting competition focusing on its pelagic dominant line. Painters can compete by painting one vehicle or a squad of at least 6 pelagic troops. Winners will receive 1 pre-release Space Demon Colossus kit and 8 Space Demon Nymphs, as well as full credit on the Coruscant website. The latest episode of the D6 Generation has a contest you might be interested in. All you have to do is write a haiku about Space Hulk, and if you win, you get a free copy of the game. More details can be found by checking out episode 40 of the podcast. Well, that's it for this week. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks to all the new viewers and subscribers I got this week when the Miniatures page featured us on their website.